survival situation, what would you do? What do you mean? Like, what are your skills? What's your game plan? Oh, okay, yeah, I'd find a man. Find a man? Yeah, I mean, am I strong? Sure. Am I capable? Sure. Am I stronger or more capable than a well-trained man? No. Okay, well, that's internal misogyny, but we're not even going to talk about that. Why do you think this man is just going to protect you? Oh, yeah, that's where my skills come in. Oh. What should I have said, like archery or something?
What's up?
What's going on?
Oh, morning, y'all.
Mute yourself, Trey.
Yeah, that's what happens when we start a show late.
You gotta start on time. I show up late, so I don't have to deal with all the.
I think this is my first time on with Clyde.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been on with you before.
You're my felon, I guess.
You've been avoiding me whenever I'm on.
No, Clyde's just been he's been AWOL for a little bit.
That's not true. That's not true. I show up on Wednesdays, and then Fridays the wife's home, so sometimes we got projects to work on.
Yeah, real life stuff.
Yeah, real life. Yeah, whoa, man. Yeah.
So what are we doing, guys?
I'm tired of real life. Real life. I don't even know what real life is anymore. It's like real life is just this.
It's all a simulation, anyways.
Yeah. Speaking of simulation, I guess we can talk about the. I don't know if this is a simulation or if this is real, but this is a funny photo that we got from the UAE, like the United Arab Emirates. I don't know why Dubai is getting this 9 billion gold-plated diamond-encrusted skyscraper, and it looks like this.
Skyscraper.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like a dildo scraper. I don't know, like whoever came up with this design, is insane. Because
I mean,
looks like something Trump would build.
he would have like the T logo like on the phallic skyscraper there
on the shaft.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You think they charge hourly rates? You like that?
Is that for Lizzo?
Top floor.
See, she charges by the minute though. Okay, you gotta,
She doesn't want to have a heart attack, man. Anything over 3 minutes and she might die. You can't get that cardiovascular muscle going. That's wrong.
Oh man.
I kind of feel bad for her, honestly. I think I've said that on the show before. I don't know. I feel like in the beginning, she had mentioned she wanted to go on a diet or something, or was thinking about getting in shape, and everybody's.
No, she started it, and then
embraced the whale.
She started it, and then they told her, the people around her told her, no, you're being fat phobic by going on a diet. Which is stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of sad actually that she got shamed into not being on a diet or not trying at least.
Yeah, not trying to be a little healthier. I mean,
well, it's like the Adele thing. You remember when Adele got skinny and it's Adele is skinny and kind of looks hot now, and then everybody was like, oh, she shouldn't have done that. She should have stayed fat because and it's do you want people to live miserably just like you?
Yes, they want. That's exactly what they want. I mean, they want everybody to be miserable and to mutilate themselves and try to kill themselves.
Yeah. Or get made.
I I guess you probably put that under like body dysmorphia, right? Gender dysphoria. Just get fat, you know. Don't know what you want. Just lose it, hide it all under.
Depends.
You don't know.
Like they would have to. It would depend on how they would classify it. I don't know. Because like they might want to. They might not want to do that because then it would be seen as like I guess against transphobic, like transphobic or whatever.
Is obesity an eating disorder? Is it classified with like your anorexia, your bulimia, stuff like that?
I think so. I think it's in the same classification there. I'm not sure though.
I don't remember hearing about it as much in health class in like ninth grade. Most grade girls, I guess, weren't like gorging themselves to get fat. They were, in the bathroom throwing it up so they could
be skinnier.
That was my day, man. They were all like anorexic in my day.
Yeah. I don't know if I could.
I got the in between era. It was like okay, like like girls. It's okay to like be a little thick. It wasn't. Like you don't want to be fat.
I'm kind of glad
there was still fat shame though. Like they still fat shamed. They just didn't fat shame like before. Like it'd be like like you
like you're used to the good old days.
The good old days when they would fat shame people.
Remember all the like fat mama jokes? Those were fun.
Yeah.
Can't talk about anybody's mama these days.
Oh, their mom might be their dad, so you never know.
Yeah, or it might just be
they'll be like, "You're misgendering my mom."
or with women with moms doing OnlyFans, he could say, like I had sex with your mom, and it could possibly be true. That would be funny though. That'd be hilarious.
It's gonna be terrifying for kids these days. Like these kids are gonna like pull up on the internet one day, or one of their friends is gonna find it and be like, oh, and it's just gonna be.
I saw your mom giving a blowjob to somebody. That's gonna be like.
Yeah,
and like the poor kid's gonna be like, yeah, that's what she does. Sorry.
Like that's her line of work,
Yeah, that's what she does for a living. You're homophobic.
No, they've called it you're like anti-sex worker. That's what they say nowadays. Like they say anti-sex worker. That's the new phrase.
Yeah.
But speaking of kids, it found out that there's a study of lottery winners, and the researchers found that men who win the lottery who are like lower incomes use their newfound resources to build families, while women use them to divorce and exit families. Who would have thunk it?
Sounds about right.
That's interesting. Huh. I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of like lottery stuff on like people, they make a ton of money on the lottery and then they don't get any of it from taxes, or that gets like taken away, like parts of it get taken because like they didn't file something right or something didn't go right. It's like this big, but that's interesting.
Or they burn through it in like a month.
Yeah, here's the actual article.
It's amazing anybody can get to that, man. Like crack and hookers cost that much, but they do.
I love my favorite like lottery video is where that guy's like they're asking the guy what he would do if he won the lottery, and he's just like cocaine and hookers. And then they were like the news anchor, you could tell was like, oh god, why did I
There was a young kid here in Holland, Michigan, where I'm at, and he won. This was probably 10, 15 years ago, and he went out and bought a Lamborghini or something stupid expensive like that, and then crashed it immediately.
Yeah,
totally destroyed it.
Dude, that's because those cars, like, you wouldn't like. I don't think I would be able to drive it, like, because those get to like 0 to 60 in like 2-point-something seconds. Like,
and he lived in like this crap house that he rented, but he went out and bought a couple $100,000 car and immediately destroyed it.
That's where we are.
That's
though,
what.
man. That's like the epitome of society, right? Like
Yeah, that
these
is exactly.
semi-temporal, like big toys. Look at me.
Yep. I'm just trying to buy records.
Can you guys hear
by
my
vinyl.
dogs?
I can't
Not
really.
today.
No, I don't really hear barking now.
And it's not barking. I think it's their stomachs, dude. It's like talking to me. It's weird.
I can't hear anything. So
Where are the chickens and the goats, man?
Yeah, they're out there.
You got to do the podcast from the farm and show the chickens and goats.
there was one episode that I remember he was out there. He was walking out there and like acting like he was like doing the show, but he was acting like he was feeding the goats or whatever.
Didn't his wife catch him?
I think that was one of the night shows. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she beat him.
Kicked him. Turned off his internet
back in
after
here.
that.
She like yanked him back in there.
My wife's like, "Oh, you're distracted. Good."
No, I can do something else.
Yes.
Yeah. So this study was like, it was. Let's see. They did one in Sweden, and Sweden, because Sweden already incentivizes having children anyway. They found that over there that the men would try to create a family as soon as they won the lottery, but the women, because they could be basically funded by the state, regardless of how they like when they go to have kids, it was like a negative incentive for them to have a family or like have more kids.
I feel like that could be misleading though. Does this survey explain like their ethnicity?
It doesn't. I don't think they check
Sweden with a
by-
huge influx of like Muslim, like if you were a Muslim woman living under like the hijab, like you might take that money and get out. This might be your opportunity. At which point I can almost see like, okay, that makes sense. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, it's saying they're also saying Swedish law allows the lottery winners to hold on to most of the winnings. So, if you, it's not like here where you have to pay like 50% tax on the winnings.
50. It's like 70 right now with the state.
70.
Yeah.
It was with the state and the feds. It hits almost 70, and then the cities are starting to get in on it too.
The cities are trying to take a cut too. Like,
any of the.
What's
big
the point of
cities,
having
like
a lottery
Chicago
if they're just gonna keep on?
Because they found out they can just steal the money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it also gets people to fund that, because like if you're paying into the lottery, then that obviously goes to the state, and then then they divvy it out.
No, if you're buying lottery tickets, you're helping education, right?
It's like,
yeah,
it's like,
sure.
I don't know if you guys ever listened, but Rush Limbaugh a bunch of years ago said it's like, because of the taxes on cigarettes, it's your duty to smoke because you have to pay for the schools. So
he's
it's
an
the
idiot.
same thing. Oh yeah, but it's the same thing here. It's like, you're paying for the schools and all the money.
Yeah, you're also
laundering
paying for
going
the bureaucrats too.
Yeah, the money laundering for the bureaucrats.
All the extra administrators that they have to hire, because you know that our education system, we have like tripled the administrators to the actual teachers.
Although I can't complain, because tomorrow I'm gonna go on an interview for school, be a manager for an auditorium for a high school, so I can't complain right now about government funding.
It's like here, the school system.
How big is
the school system is great.
The school? Oh, it's gigantic. There's 2 schools. It's east and west, 2 gigantic high schools, like 10 times the size of my high school.
Yeah, it is a racket, but yeah, the cigarette tax would do more. I mean that lottery, they have to. There are more rules around the lottery that they have to, they do have to pay out something. Like if you enter into the lottery, they do have to pay out something, and then they also do have to know, like you have to know a little bit more auditing on where those funds go. But
the thing is, like, if they're giving away like when the lottery gets up to like $500 million or you know how much money they're raking in at that point, like yeah.
Well, that's why like
that's
the
not
people
going to the schools.
like people here in
No.
Alabama, like they're saying
It's going
we
to the
wanna,
unions.
Yeah, going to the teacher unions and everything.
Well, teachers union, road workers unions, in Michigan, all the auto unions, so that they can buy the votes.
Yeah, here in Alabama, people have been asking for a lottery forever, and I'm like, no, and people are just like, oh, why you don't want more funding for the schools? It's like, no, the problem isn't school funding. Like there's a lot of other issues with our schooling system. Like there's there are too many administrators. There's not enough like actual people that are involved in like teaching the kids. If you actually, if that's what you're concerned about, like,
well, the only thing they're teaching them is to cut parts off.
Not here, not yet.
It'll happen. I'm in like a pretty little sleepy town, and it's everywhere here.
I don't know. You would get a lot of backlash around here for that. So I don't know. That wouldn't go over
By
well.
backlash, it means they might cut yours off.
Yeah, exactly. You start talking about cutting kids' wiener off around here, then people will be like, oh, you want to cut his off? I'll cut yours off. Like, I got my switchblade knife right here. Ready to go.
Yeah, but they're into that kind of stuff, though. That's the problem.
So it's a kink, we can't kink shame.
Yeah, you can.
This can be interesting.
It's actually a duty.
Where I am too. It's sort of insular from everything else, just because it's it's the middle of nowhere, Bible Belt. But you get out coastal Georgia, and I know it exists a lot more. And just seeing the creep, seeing if we'll be safe from it before the creep kind of dies. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like Birmingham.
So I feel like it's coming. I feel like it's gonna burn out.
I don't know, man. I don't have too much confidence it's gonna go good in the next 5-10 years.
Get dragged behind the 82 Chevy. Well, nowadays, let's see.
That's because the Dodge couldn't drag it.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. I don't care about it. Don't care. Did you guys see the whole stuff in Tennessee? They reinstated those 2 politicians, and oh my gosh, it's just it's insane.
They basically overrode them, and then now they're back in, and like I think so they basically led the people that were like rioting in the.
They led the insurrection.
Yeah, and so then they were punished for it. They got like removed from office. Like they were supposed to be expelled from office.
Because
and then
they led an insurrection.
Yeah, because they led the transurrection.
Transurrection, yes.
And then after they led the transurrection, they got removed from office, and then they basically got all their peers to vote to reinstate them, and so then now they're back.
And then they reinstated them, and now the governor just signed basically a red flag law in Tennessee. And so they took a psychotic trans person who shot up 6 people in a school, and they turned it around into. I mean, it's honestly a brilliant way to turn it around to get what you want. Like they really successfully turned it into a
it wasn't really.
They got what they wanted.
Anything but what it actually was, which was a crazy trans person. Like they like that should have been the story, right? Like that should have been. Yeah,
I got the boomer cons on board, but that's what it did.
Kids.
Yeah.
It got them on that. You need to. Yeah.
That's why they set it up in a Christian school, was to get the churches and the Christians behind the whole thing as well.
Very likely, yeah.
You know, because now you have churches that are like, oh, you know, these poor kids and the, you know, these guns. And have you noticed they haven't released her manifesto yet?
They haven't officially, but it's been leaked.
Oh, it has been leaked? I haven't seen it.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I don't
you
believe
never
anything anymore.
Well, there were. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if
That's it.
somebody
Like, I don't
posted
understand,
snippets,
man.
like. But the snippets that they posted, it was like, you know, obviously, like, it was essentially like, hey, I'm getting back at these Christians who treated me like crap. That was the snippets that I saw. I don't know if they're real or fake.
The one article I saw, one of the investigators it said it was like not targeted, and it was just kind of random when this person had like all sorts of mental issues, you know. And it's like, I don't know why anybody would believe anything that the government puts out like that, you know. Whether I mean, even like the Freedom of Information Act and all these files that I can request,
like the Las Vegas.
Look, here's what it says. It's like, no, they're gonna cook that so hard. They've been cooking it the whole time. Like, they do it with everything, and we've seen it a million times. Why is this the time that they're just going to give you the truth that makes them look bad? Like, come on, get out of here.
Well, it's like Vegas. Like, did you guys see they finally released like documents about Vegas, and what they said is, oh, it was totally he was down $20,000 from gambling.
Yeah, they said it was because of gambling losses, which is absolute bullshit.
Okay, so he took all that equipment up to that, you know, place. And
he had 6 other people, because if you listen to that, there is no way that is one gun.
Just
absolutely no way that is one gun.
Well, even in the video, like before they started taking down the video, which it's hard.
Which
to find
you can't
the video
find the video anymore.
Yeah, it's hard to find the video. You have to be.
It's on BitChute, I think.
Yeah, I think it's still on BitChute. That they won't allow it on YouTube. Period.
Yeah.
Not even if you like blur out the killings or whatever. Like,
which is interesting because you know as soon as you see any kind of fact check or if they're censoring it, you know it's absolutely like bad for them.
Yeah. Because, like, if you watch that video, then you could see multiple. It looked like, I don't know if it's just a glare, but it definitely looks like there's multiple, like, you know, like muzzle flashes, like multiple muzzle flashes from it.
I don't remember the muzzle flashes, but just listening to it, like, that's more than one gun. I mean, I've been to a gun range 100 times. Like, you can tell when there's 2 guns firing rather than one gun, and there is no way that was a bump stock either. I've seen those. I've used them. They
don't do it full auto.
I've shot an automatic weapon. There's a difference between a bump stock and an auto weapon. Yeah. Absolute massive difference.
I mean, you know, he would have had to have been like tapping like so fast because I mean, obviously, you know, like they were saying it was a semi-auto, and he had the bump.
You gotta watch out for
He knew how to
man.
get that finger. You know, he knew how to use that finger there.
But yeah, I mean, and then the reload time too. Like, even switching out a 30-round magazine, like with the rate of fire,
to, like, throw down one gun and grab another one that was fully loaded.
You would have had to have it. He would have had to have it both in hand. To get that rate of fire.
Yeah.
Like, and that's something that I've never heard anybody talk about. Really, is that the rate of fire that's going on there? There's no way it's not more than one gun.
Well, this one, I think, you know, like, people are like, oh yeah, you know, like, Trump signs the bump stock ban and all this kind of stuff, and you know, I get it, you know, I get the hate for it, but it's like, I think that was basically they were baiting that whole situation.
Oh, he did it just to appease.
Yeah, that's
the only reason he did it, to appease. I mean, the one thing I love when people start going off about Biden trying to ban guns, I always find that video of Trump saying, you know, you need to take the guns first, then have due process. Like for all the Trump people out there, it's like, he wanted to take your guns too. He had no issues with taking your guns.
Yeah, but it's all about the base and like what you've got what you can actually get away with, I guess.
I think he lost a lot of people on that comment. Between that and pushing for
And the
a
2020
certain chemical to go into your system, I think he lost a lot of his base there. He lost a lot of the fringe base.
But he you know, he for that, he definitely didn't, you know, he never said like you know, he didn't say like what our governor said. Our governor said, well, these unvaccinated folks, they're terrible, like, you know, and it's like, okay, like that's honestly, I wish she would have got voted out, but you know, she got reelected.
You could be stuck with my governor. You can have her.
I'll pass.
Freaking whore.
Witchmer.
It amazes me sometimes when you see like such just bad politicians like still in office, like still hanging on, like still. It amazes me that happens.
Well, you know, for every bad politician, there may be a good politician. So let's check out a possibly a good politician.
Oh, this guy's based.
You, Satan, and all of your demons and all of your imps will come and parade before us. That's right, I called you demons and imps who come and parade before us and pretend that you are part of this world. So I'm saying indignation is stirred. I am sick and tired of this. I'm not going to put up with it. You can test me and try to take me on, but I promise you I'll win every time. And, you know, some people don't like that, but that's a fact. We have people that live among us today on planet Earth that are happy to display themselves as if they were mutants from another planet. This is the planet Earth, where God created men, male, and women, female. I'm a proud Christian, conservative Republican. I'm not on the fence. Not on the fence.
This guy's my new favorite politician, man. I think he should run with Thomas Massey. Him and Massey, 2024.
Yeah, he sounds like he's got a bit of an accent there. I wonder if that like.
It sounds like a African accent, like an actual African accent, not the fake American African American accent.
I wonder if that like plays into his. I don't know.
Well, he kind of sounds like
hell yeah, it does.
Like having
Clarence
that
Thomas
background, that Christianity background.
Well, it's not only that, but you get the actual conservatives from Africa, and they're 90% conservative.
Yeah, well, I mean, other than I guess the reparation style Africans, which they literally they do have some that are there, obviously from the apartheid and stuff like that. So especially South Africa, they're really
Liberia.
hung up on. Oh, mostly South Africa. I don't know about Liberia.
I mean, Lincoln gave it to him. He said, "We got this," and they didn't want it. So I don't know. I think they had their chance, right? Giving him a whole country in Africa.
That. Okay. Yes, I remember that. Okay, yeah. Okay, now I'm following now. Took me a second. Jeez, yeah. That would have been, that would have been so funny. Like, just like, okay, here, I stole this country. Now you can have it. y'all can go. Again.
I stole this country. Now you can have it. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, he basically did that, with the, stealing the South and back to,
Yeah, but he didn't give it back to the South. He gave it to like the carve it back.
He gave it to the North.
Pretty much.
My parting gift with
Yankees.
brain spatters and everything.
Is somebody trying to share?
Never mind the brain matter.
Oh, two impersonators having that may be Jay Forte. So we were talking about schools. We were talking about schools. Let's see here. Here's our favorite representative from the federal government.
Favorite imp.
Their favorite. Yes.
To provide that culturally competent care in general for all communities, but in this case for our LGBTQI plus community. I think it needs to start in our training and in school.
Future healthcare providers, the next generation, is focusing on giving problem-solving skills so that healthcare providers, even if they don't know everything, because no one can know everything, at least know
Oh, dear God.
how to find that information.
I think medical schools could do a lot more with training new doctors to understand the diversity of the world. My doctor, his work is about affirmation. He's dedicated his life to making his patients feel seen. Start with do no harm and no judgment.
I think it's absolutely wonderful that LGBTQI plus people are being educated to work in healthcare and are working in. It's really important that as we do that,
Dun, dun, dun.
for members of our community, that we educate our peers and allies in terms of cultural competency.
We first have to acknowledge that we've made great strides, especially in the base levels of tolerance. More and more healthcare providers know to ask.
Apparently not hairstyling though.
It's not tolerance. Pause this for a second.
Yeah.
It's not freaking tolerance. It's if they don't do it, they get their licenses taken away. There's absolutely no tolerance involved in this at all. These fucking assholes think it's tolerance. There's
it's
absolutely no tolerance.
There's a term for it, repressive tolerance. That's what it is. It's repressive tolerance because the
anarcho government. What did we talk about last week?
Like anarcho tyranny. Yeah, well, I mean,
it's
the same. Yeah, you know.
But there's like, oh my God, these people like to say it's tolerance. It's not tolerance. Like
it's like intolerant tolerance because what they want you to tolerate their nonsense, but you can't voice any concerns. You're completely invalidated in the process because they want to be the ones that are the end all be all when it comes to these kind of like topics. Like they want to be the ones, okay, well, your kid is trans, so therefore you need to affirm them and you need to do this. And they want to be that arbiter of the discussion.
I think they really like the whole affirmation thing. Like that.
Oh,
that spills over into like everything else. You just we're so stuck on this having to like affirm everybody for everything, and just the spillover and what that implies for the rest of society. Like that's not okay. That's how you get crazy ladies going into Target and demanding reparations from Target after they get $1,000 bill. Like that's where we end up. That's where we are now. Like we've just been, for the last 30 odd years, give everybody a participation trophy, affirm you, and like, oh, you're great. And now you have like people can't handle being told no or being told by their boss that they need to work harder or anything like that. I step out for a second.
Oh, we already lost Clyde. Is he working off Jay's internet?
No, he's just got to take his daily beating. That's what he's got to step away and take.
His wife caught him again on the internet.
What are you doing on the internet again?
No, it's maddening to me that there's this faux tolerance thing that, it's like, okay, if I don't think that trans should be trans, then I'm intolerant. You know what? Fine.
Well,
I'm intolerant. I'm absolutely intolerant of it.
Yeah.
I have no tolerance for cutting off kids' dicks.
Yeah.
Or breasts. Like there's absolutely zero tolerance for that. And to affirm it, all you're doing is creating a mass group of psychotic people that are going to go shoot up schools in 6 months or a year.
Well, it's like a lot of the parents who like, and some people will like complain, but like the sort of, I guess it's more of the gentle parenting people like that do this, but there are a lot of people who do this. So you
just
say,
gotta beat it out of them.
Well, I mean, yeah. Sometimes you gotta, you do have to kind of like, you have to lay down the line, like, lay down some rules here. Like, okay, this is how the world is, and this is how the world functions. And if they can't, like, if your kids can't like understand that and abide by it, then they have to be put in place, because you can't just have them, you can't let them run the world, like,
No.
because they don't know anything about the world yet, and they need to learn. And once they learn, then yeah, okay, let them make some decisions. But like,
Well, and when I was 15, I made some horrible decisions. When I was 17, I made it. When I was 25, I made horrible decisions. So, like, how are you going to let your 12 or 6 or 15-year-old kid go, oh, you know what? I'm this.
Justin's right. Beat your kids. It's good. I'm not saying that, YouTube, man. We're reading a comment. I'm reading a comment.
We are trying to get the show kicked off the air.
I do that with one word. Parenting,
well, I think we've said a few words that I'm
teachers
surprised.
Parent. We've let government parent. Like, parents don't parent anymore.
Exactly.
Not in our wheelhouse,
No, well, they're too afraid to, because if you parent, then your kid's gonna go complain to their teacher, and then all of a sudden you have CPS at your door.
Yeah,
visiting because my kid won't let me be, my dad won't let me become trans, and I'm trans, I feel this way. And then all of a sudden it's like, I can't cut off my tits, now I have to be able to cut them off to be me. And then parent doesn't do it, and then you have CPS at your door.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's I've heard of stories of like, the dad spanks the kid, and then they go to school and they tell the teacher, and then the CPS is at their door investigating them because they're trying to actually parent their kid. Like, they're actually decent parents. They're just like giving them a spanking because they're misbehaving. Like, they won't act right, but then CPS is on their tail because they keep coming to school and being able to whine to the teacher about it.
So this is why you shouldn't put your kids in public schools.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. This is exactly why you shouldn't put your kids in a public school. And I'm saying this as a parent with a kid in public school. So, but he's a senior, so.
But
he came up to me one day and he said, he goes, Dad, there's 2 genders and 52 mental illnesses. So I trust my oldest.
Well, you see, you can still do a good job, and and they can still go through it. It's just really they make the job harder for the parents, like the school system, the government involvement, all the courts that get involved in parents, disputes and everything. All of those things add up to just like not allowing parents to actually parent.
There's someplace just recently I read an article. Can't remember where. Was that? I want to say it was Texas. Maybe it was just California though. They were talking about like it's like like that it's they upheld the ruling that, like, teachers didn't have to tell their parents about like renaming kids in class. Like, what I mean? They don't have to have that communication, which is just like, that's insane. You're allowed to keep like
that's in like 10 states right now.
A parent, like, yeah, and it was one that was like you wouldn't think that would be acceptable there,
Well, hell, man, we have a president that feels up little girls while he's
like
doing
just
speeches.
That alone, they're allowed to.
like
not as bad as the Dalai Lama, I guess.
Yeah. Did you see that picture I posted today on Twitter of the Dalai Lama and Biden making out?
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Oh, Biden would probably suck his
Have to
tongue.
go back and rewatch that.
Yeah, that was funny.
Which Dalai Lama is this? Is this like a same guy
like
for the last like 30 years?
Yeah.
Or is this a new one?
Yeah, that's the same guy.
He's
like 80, and then
as soon as that video came out, I was like, he's hanging around with Biden too much. That's the first thing I posted.
It's funny. There were pictures of him and Biden together, and not recently, but it was like 15 or 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Him and Biden together.
When Biden was VP, there was a lot of pictures of him there.
Yeah. But it was.
I wonder if he gets like easy access to like little Tibetan boys.
You think?
I don't know.
He's probably renting them to Biden.
Yeah.
What else we got?
What else we got today? Got anything else?
Well, I hope y'all don't have any flight plans because, you might get on this flight.
Oh God.
Captain Susie Garrett and her first officer daughter, Donna, are the first mother-daughter pair in history to pilot a commercial SkyWest Airlines flight together. So
Looks like a Bang Bros like compilation. Or something. Not actual pilots. They're just gonna go shoot a film afterwards.
I'm sure they both have a OnlyFans page.
From the cockpit.
They take the cock in the cockpit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but all the stewardesses are gay, so they wouldn't have any luck there.
No, that's what you have like your
the sky waitresses, the dude sky waitresses. What are they? What are they called?
I don't know, man.
No clue.
Yeah, sure
they usually say attendants. Like
I just call them sky waitresses because that's all they are. Like seriously, like they hand you a Coke and a bag of nuts.
Sometimes they don't even give you that. Give you the Coke, no nuts.
Or if you're on American Airlines, it's those crappy biscotti cookies.
Oh yeah.
Ugh, these are gross.
You don't like biscotti, man?
They're not terrible. Like they're meh.
Those aren't the good ones, man. They have no butter in them. The only good ones are the ones with like super buttery ones.
Yeah. You can't get peanuts on an airplane anymore, right? Sure, that's
no.
I was done away with.
When I flew to South Africa, they gave us peanuts. But that was like 15 years ago. But
well, they were going to Africa. I mean,
oh yeah.
Hey man, it was a great trip.
Well, yeah. I don't know. The whole peanut thing throws me for a loop. Like I don't get it.
I don't know why we have so many people who have a
We
peanut
do.
allergy all of a sudden. Like,
who?
It's got to be something either like environmental or whether we just keep giving it later and later in life, so your body isn't able to build immune or get used to it, or whether it's something the water or the meds, vaccines. I don't know.
I remember hearing about. I do think it's related to certain things that they put into little baby systems right away. Several of them, all different times, but there's been a lot of talk about it in the last couple of years that if babies have any kind of peanut stuff when they're little, like I think it's before a year, then it can cause that allergy to show up. But you didn't have this before when you were doing before there were mass things going into their system when they were babies. So
now they're trying to get even more. So
survival of the fittest, man. If your kid can't take my kid's peanut butter sandwich, sorry.
Well.
Oh gosh,
not peanut butter sandwiches, but we can talk about Bud Light and the recent controversy here.
I don't know what's worse, if it's the boomers like destroying Bud Light or if it's this chick. I can't tell.
Well, let's find out here.
I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light, and it was this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in
nothing.
Okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. it means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men.
Mm-hmm.
And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had.
I really hate that woman.
I see. I don't see like
I mean,
Bud Light is like
it
a
was
frat beer.
fratty.
Bud Light is like a no. Fratty's like White Claw
Natty
or
Light.
like
Yeah, well,
like Bud
Well,
Light. Is a
Fratty-
little, I feel like Bud Light's more.
Fratty 20 years ago was not. I mean, you're talking the. I don't know beers anymore. I quit drinking a couple years ago. But you're talking like regular Budweiser or Miller, the champagne of beers. But I don't think
see Bud Light as being fratty. But...
No, I see it as like, you got that's your 30-year-old father that your 30-year-old dad that's sitting out grilling drinking a Bud Light, because
he doesn't want to drink a regular Bud because he's like, well, I need to lose a few.
But if you're drinking Budweiser, that's the first problem.
Yeah.
Well, look,
that's like I don't.
We can only hope, Justin. We can only hope.
No, if she does get unemployed, she'll be working for. She'll be hired by Biden. I guarantee you, she'll be in the administration in 6 months. Write that down.
Well, I think she'll be a CEO
by the end of October. She'll be in the Biden administration.
Or she'll go to be a CEO of like a bigger like male oriented company, like she'll be like a CEO of like Dick's Sporting Goods or something like that, like something that's more like male centric or whatever. Yes.
Yeah. She'll go start Dick's Sporting Goods, Remington or something.
Remington. Yeah, she'll be CEO of Remington.
Yeah. Dick's Sporting Goods screwed themselves when they got rid of guns and ammo.
Yeah, they really did.
They really screwed that up.
Yeah.
But
did you see? Speaking of Bud Light and our favorite person there, did a photo shoot or an op, I guess, with Nike trying to sell sports bras?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. I did see that.
like
he has no boobs.
Are we transitioning to like smaller boobs now?
I gotta hand it to
cool
him.
Again?
No, they'll never be cool. I gotta hand it to him, man. The guy's making bank
doing this. Yeah,
like he's making some serious cash.
See,
he's capitalizing on it now. I mean, like, hell, he's either got like an amazing agent, or because I don't understand why these brands keep going for him. Because from what I'm hearing, Anheuser-Busch's sales are down like by 30-40%, but their stocks are going up because all the liberals are buying their stocks. Their
ESG score went up, so like that's basically what it is. It's like they're raising their equity index or whatever. So essentially, because they raise their equity index, then like the ESG investors want to invest more into that company.
I think like the trending, it gets them trending on social media and stuff, and gets everybody talking about it. And I think that in and of itself is worth a whole bunch in terms of advertising. It just get that
even negative
out there. Yeah.
There's no bad press. There's absolutely no bad press. Like they're getting literally everybody's talking about them. You got Kid Rock, shooting up cans, which is stupid because unless you're stealing the beer, you're still purchasing it to go shoot it up. I mean, like how
what did you see? Did you see the steamroller?
Yes.
Clip.
Yes.
Like what? Like, speechless. I don't know. Like it's just retarded. Like, why would you do that? Like,
no, Justin. I'm not saying it gets hate drinks. No, but I think But I think that you're gonna start seeing, like, because their stock went up, like you're getting leftists buying that stuff now because they want to prop it up. They're trying to prop it up. But
Wouldn't it be funny if
I don't
Bud
know.
Light goes from like this like redneck white trash beer to like, that's what the intellectual elite
Intellectual
drinking with a little
liberals.
pinky up Bud Light
They have their
Instead of
filling on the
scotch.
can.
They pour the wine glass, the Bud Light in the wine glass, and they just sip it.
I mean, if you like ever, I don't think I've drank a Bud Light past the time I was like 15, 14. Like, because we used to steal my friend's grandpa's beers. He had Miller Lite and Bud Light, and we would steal those and drink those as kids. Like, I haven't had that as an
in the
adult
last few
ever.
years, but it was more like, I ran out of beer and that's what people had around me because they drink like, all day kind of thing. And so when you're really putting it on all day, you got to have like that 3.5%, much more, and you'll get real drunk real quick. But no, I've never really bought it.
Yeah, like I don't know who's buying that stuff.
I don't know, man. It's all the trans kids.
Now it is, yes.
The trans kids. There's no such thing as trans kids.
Okay,
as
maybe.
much as they want to tell you.
have you seen the pictures? The pictures of Kid Rock are hilarious now. There's like pictures of him drinking Bud Light in bars
with the drag queen.
With
or
the drag
something.
queen. Those are hilarious. And growing up in Detroit and seeing him around in the clubs, I mean, he was like the total white boy rapper, like the bad white boy rapper. It was so funny to see him change his whole persona and go to like this
redneck kind of
shitty songwriter,
rock star, like crappy rock star kind of.
Yeah, go from like this rapper. One of his, I worked in a record store for a very short period of time, and one of his tapes was just basically a picture of a used condom. Like that was just, it was like this mixtape that he had out. Oh, it was so sick. It was like, who does that?
I feel like I've seen the album cover for some reason.
It's out there.
I feel like that's a good album cover. It's like, classy, like 90s trash. I appreciate
the problem is you had 90s music like that, but then you had like Alice in Chains. So, like, why would you ever listen to Kid Rock crappy rap stuff if you had like Alice in Chains and Soundgarden?
I remember.
I'm stuck in the 90s music, man.
Well, there might be some 90s music playing at this bar. I don't know.
Oh, this is great.
Playing some toadies.
Like, why is she just walking around with this thing?
That's her pet possum.
I think people are trying to get a photo op with her.
We got a video. You're good. Keep going.
Wait a minute.
Must be cold in there.
Yeah. It's frigid.
Must be cold in there.
A guy trying to pet her possum.
Did you see the other article that came out that this woman moved out of her New York apartment because it had a possum? She found a possum in it.
No, I didn't.
I read that one this morning. I've been up since 3, so I read that one early.
Oh, how would there be a possum in New York? Jesus.
It might have been Cali. I don't know. It was some leftist liberal city.
Cali, I might see, but like New York, I'd be like, whoa, like. I would think it'd be like one of those giant rats before, because they have those like mutant rats.
See, Justin, that's when you need to do the 2 bells as your next one. You got to do the 2 ding ding bells on there. After that, but
see, If it is New York City, I could see it being a rat and not actually a possum, and the lady just doesn't know what's going on. Neither does anybody else writing the article.
Yes, that's true.
Big
That is
rodent.
true.
She's like, it's a possum, and it's like this massive rat. Like,
That's really why she moved out. It was a giant rat. Well, maybe she's retarded.
Yeah.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.